All right. Uh, we're back doing another podcast style video podcast thing. Um, as you can see, I've actually got my daughter on camera this go around. We're going to go over a couple of different things. Kind of focus on what the outdoors means to us, sharing family memories, things like that. I'm also going to touch base on, some tactics, various other things, hunting and fishing related. More than anything, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to interview my daughter. And she's going to talk about why she likes being in the outdoors with me and her granddad, and the things that she enjoys about it, doesn't enjoy, that kind of thing. So let's start off with you actually get to shoot this year.
Yeah.
You excited for that?
Yes, very.
Yeah. What are you gonna shoot?
Turkey.
Turkey?
Deer.
Deer.
Yeah.
You gonna use the crossbow or your bow?
I mean, if we ever get to shoot the crossbow, then I'll just see how that goes, and then maybe I'll use my bow if I don't like the crossbow.
Okay. Pretty good idea. Crossbow might be better for deer.
Yeah, for deer, I'll use the crossbow. I'll use the crossbow for deer, but for turkey, I'm gonna try and use my bow.
Right on. So, what is it about being in the outdoors that you enjoy?
I enjoy having like peace and quiet and being with like nature, like period. I like nature and like, I mean, that's basically it.
Yeah. It's not being out there with your dad and your granddad and building those memories together without worrying about phones or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean that too,
Yeah.
but hopefully I don't fall into the lake next time.
Hopefully not. So what all have you hunted?
Deer, dove, turkey, and I don't know.
All right, so you went dove hunting with your granddad. Tell me a little bit about that. What was that like?
So we were
Is it since it was y'all two, tell me about that.
So we were basically just in this spot in the shade, and we had like our hunting stools that like pop up a little bit, and there was like this big thing of like really tall grass, and I can't remember if we shot anything or not because that was like a little while ago, but some of the birds were just like on the grass, like the top part of the grass. And then we found a snake.
Is that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he shot a decoy.
You shot. I remember that story.
Yeah.
Weren't y'all like hiking back to the truck and somebody had left some dove decoys out there?
I was like,
And he thought it was a bird. Yeah, that's pretty funny. What about deer hunting? Tell me about your deer hunting experiences. What you like, what you don't like.
I like it whenever.
First of all, how many deer hunts have you been on?
2?
I think you've been on 3.
Well, one of them was just like hunting.
Because there was that one that we went, that first deer hunt that I took you on, where we went a little bit further south of town on that one property.
Oh yeah.
We We had.
So I've been
I think we just did an evening hunt on that one, didn't we? On
Yeah.
that first one, was it just an evening?
yeah. And then 4 because we went 2 at that one place that I kind of stayed in the truck because it was really cold.
Oh, the farm.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot that you've been out to the farm twice.
One time I just slept the whole time.
And what was the last one? That was our long trip, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In December.
That was our trip that there was like a lot of deer.
Yeah. We're pretty covered up in deer in the morning.
And then on, I think it was Monday, or was it Sunday? It was Monday. That we stayed from Monday to Monday, right? Or was it Tuesday?
I don't remember. I know that we left on Christmas Day. We stayed out there for about 4 or 5 days.
Well, the last day we were there, it was like really cold, so I was just snuggled up in his, what is it called? His sleeping bag.
Yeah.
It was very warm and cozy.
All mummied up in the mummy bag in the deer blind.
Yeah.
So what is it that you like about deer hunting? What do you don't like?
What do I not like? I don't like when they blow at us, you know?
Yeah, well,
Which happened that last trip also.
no deer hunter likes that. That's the worst sound in the deer woods.
Yeah. But I also don't like it when it's like too cold, because then it's like we can't go shoot if we don't see any deer.
Fair.
Like, it can be cold, but it can't be like below 0. It can't be too cold.
Well,
It could be a little chilly. But
we didn't quite get down to below 0. I think it was like it was down in the teens
yeah.
that day.
I think it was
it-
like 15.
Yeah, it was pretty cold. It was down in the teens. Even I got cold. So what is it that you like about deer hunting?
What do I like about deer hunting? Just, I like the thought of having a deer and all that meat in the freezer. But also, I like seeing all the cool creatures and pretty things in the woods.
Yeah. What would you say your number one memory of deer hunting would be?
I would say, I don't know, something. Deer hunting?
Yeah.
I guess it was that one time where we were packing up and the goats just came behind those trees.
That last set on our week-long trip
Yeah,
where
and then-
we're sitting there and our spot got invaded by goats.
Yeah. They sounded like demons.
Demons. Yeah, that was pretty fun. That was a pretty good trip.
They were speaking my language.
Kind of wish we would have got a deer that trip. Honestly, we would have had I not messed up. You know, that's part of hunting. You make mistakes, you live, you learn, you move on.
Yeah.
So, what about turkeys? What about turkey hunting? How many times have you been turkey hunting?
Let's see. I was there 3? I don't know.
Nah, you've been turkey hunting twice.
2.
You've been on the turkey trip with us twice. What do you think about turkey hunting?
It's fun because I can make a lot of puns that nobody can hear in the woods.
Yeah. Always out there joking and stuff. What's what's your what do you like and not like about turkey hunting?
I like whenever it's like, chilly, but it's not too cold, because when it's too cold, then
Sounds like we got a storm coming through.
Sylvia's in the chairs.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Never mind, it's my dog rearranging my porch. So you've been on 2 turkey trips. The first one we had a turkey at probably about 10 yards. Well, actually, we had 2 turkeys come in. We had a hen come in that was, I don't know, she was like probably 30, 40 yards away. And I kind of boogered that situation up a little bit. The blind that we had set up, the hide that we were in, she was a good ways across some really open ground, and I was moving around trying to see. Emma said that she didn't get to see her because she was sitting below our blind. And well, that was before we had the see-through blind. That was when we were doing the camo netting. Yeah.
Oh, and there was also like a tom that came up behind us.
Yep. Then we had a tom come up behind us for about 10. Yeah, he was close. He was within bow range. Had I known,
Squeezed out of my skin.
had I known that he was there, we might have got a shot. But instead, he snuck up on us. Like he snuck up on us, and
I was trying to go to sleep, so it scared me more than him.
yeah, how we knew he was there is he took flight, kind of flew across the river there, and the sound of him flying off when he spooked because he snuck up on us was how we found out he was there. And then you went this year, and this year the gobblers were actually talking and stuff like that. So what did you think about that? Like, was it cool hearing all those gobbles at first light?
Yes, but it was also kind of annoying.
Why was it annoying?
Yes, I was trying to go to sleep.
You were supposed to be out there trying to kill a turkey.
I wasn't shooting.
That was a fun trip. We were covered up in gobblers. Our hunt kind of got ruined because where we had roosted some birds, it was pretty close to the access road, and right about the time I started working the birds was when everybody decided to come in and start driving around and start looking for birds themselves.
We already told about that.
No,
Everybody ended up.
yeah, but we weren't able to post that video, remember? Because it didn't work. Anyway, but yeah, so. Oh wait, I did post a video about that.
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, so yeah, so if you want to hear about that, go back to the video story time opening day of turkey season. Deer hunting, I had a pretty good year. Let some arrows fly. Unfortunately, some poor shooting cost me some deer. And then, our last hunt, like I said, I kind of messed up. Had a doe come in. I mean, she was perfect. Came in, was broadside. I tried to draw my bow back, and I was in a really bad position sitting in my stool, and I fell off balance and I couldn't get my bow all the way back. So I had to kind of let down and try to redraw. And when I did, of course, a whole bunch of issues there. I let my bow down, and the arrow fell off my rest, and I was trying to get everything situated back again, and I got my bow back up, and right about the time I was drawing, some duck hunters on the pond not too far away shot a couple shells, and she kind of popped her ears up, and she decided to walk out of our lives. So I messed that one up. I had plenty of opportunity, and I just wasn't composed. I was really excited. We hunt public land out here, in Texas, and the thing about that is I actually have never killed a deer on public land, so that would have been my first public land deer. Yeah, they're a lot smarter than, well, I say smarter. They're a lot harder to get a beat on than private land deer, which we're going to touch base on that here in a little bit. Um, but you know, I was really excited. I was hoping, you know, it would have been really cool to put down my first public land deer, having my daughter with me. And I messed it up. So let's talk about fishing. Do you like fish?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you like about fishing?
I like how it like calms you down or whatever when you're like really excited and you laugh, and you have to have like patience to do it. So that's why. But anyways, I like fishing because whenever the fish actually starts biting, it's like really excited. Like I'm really excited. Like, am I gonna get it or am I not gonna get it? But after, if I don't get it, it's fine. I mean, there's more fish in the lake.
Right. Yeah. What's your favorite outdoor activity? Like, what do you like doing out there the most?
Honestly, I like. Well, the only time we did it was last turkey trip. We went on the lakes and went fishing. If we do that again, that's like my favorite.
Yeah. You like fishing on the boats?
Yes, even though I took it.
If y'all haven't seen the other video, what she's referring to is I've got a canoe and we borrowed my brother's kayak, and man, she had a heyday out there on the water fishing.
It was cold and deep. It started getting deep.
Yeah, it wasn't cold till you fell in.
I didn't fall in. Someone didn't save me.
Anyway, so you like the outdoor adventures though?
Yes.
No. What do you think the best thing about it is?
The best thing is that you get more connected to your family and like you get to spend some time with nature before it like starts getting rude.
Well, hopefully, you know, through our efforts with our hunting license, our fishing license, and some other stuff that we do, we won't have to worry about losing too much of our wildlands. Which that's another thing that, you know, we can bring up, guys. If you enjoy the outdoors, you know, take care of the outdoors. If you go camping, fishing, hunting, whatever it may be, don't leave your trash out in the woods. Don't throw trash in the lakes and the rivers. Like just clean up after yourself. And if you want to be a really good, you know, if you want to be a really good person and a really good steward of the land, clean up after other people too. When you go out there, our motto is that we always try to leave our areas better than they were when we got there. I remember the first time I took Emma and her sister Skylar camping. We went camping and fishing at a lake not too far from home, and Emma got mad while we were there because people had just kind of junked out the campsites and stuff, and she's so passionate about, you know, keeping the woods clean, keeping the lakes clean, and keeping nature that she was actually going through and picking up all the trash that she could find.
That was a very long time ago.
That was a real long time ago. I mean, and there's been times where we've been out hunting. I only bow hunt, but, you know, I do hunt through, you know, I'll bow hunt in gun zones. I don't stick to the archery only zones or whatever. I just only use a bow. And I've seen her walking through, when we're walking through the woods, she'll pick up shotgun shells that people don't police or whatever. We all should strive to be more like Emma and you know, let's keep our wilds wild, and let's keep them clean. Stop kicking the shaking the camera. They're gonna think we're living in an earthquake. Um, so yeah, that's definitely a big thing. One of the things that I love about going out into the woods and camping and fishing and hunting with my kids, man, is that's it doesn't matter if we catch anything, it doesn't matter if we kill anything. Those are memories that you can't replace. Those are memories that you like. Those are the memories that'll stick with me forever. Um, like I took both my daughters on a camping trip a while back, and it was miserable. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. If you've ever been in Central Texas in June, um, you know how it can get. It was every bit of like 110 degrees outside. I wish I was exaggerating. And we were trying to make the best of it. We did some hiking, we did some fishing. Um, Ended up calling the trip short because they didn't want to be out in the heat. In hindsight, I can't say that I blame them. At the time, I was pretty frustrated because I had taken some vacation time, and I was like, you know, we're gonna go out here. We're gonna be out here for, I think it was like 4 or 5 day trip that I planned. I think we stayed 2 nights. Um,
We stayed one night.
was it 1 night, 2 days? But I got some really cool pictures with my girls out there, so it was a good memory. Um, you know, but being able to share that time and share the things and do the things that I love with my kids, it's been phenomenal. It's been great. I've been very blessed that at least one of my kids so far enjoys it. Um, Her older sister, she's not really into it as much. She likes the city attractions a little bit more, whereas we want to get away from people. Uh, but yeah, so kind of using this one. The majority of this one is talking about, you know, I really wanted to talk about the Target. You know, spend some time in the outdoors. Take the family, take your kids. Um, Share those memories because there's memories out there that you can't get anywhere else. Like her tipping the kayak over. We're gonna be joking about that for, well, until you do something else goofy in the woods. Uh, you know, and like those are just like I said, it's just it's a special experience. So the other thing we're going to get into um, a little bit is we're going to talk about some tactics and uh, adaptations that you have to kind of go along with, and might touch base on some stuff that'll ruffle some feathers because that's just how the hunting world is. Apparently, we can't agree on anything. Uh, but one of the things that I'm going to touch base on, we're going to start with baiting. I'm not going to bash anybody who wants to bait. I'm not going to say that it's a bad thing. You know, if it's legal, you do you, and you enjoy the woods. About to get into that. So, one thing, when I first started hunting public land, and I fully believe that this is why I have not shot a public land deer, I was like, I'm not going to do it like every other Texan out there. I'm not going to hunt a bait pile. You know, I'm not going to take bags of corn into the woods. I'm gonna track them. I'm gonna pattern them. This and that and the other. If you've ever hunted public land in Texas, or at least the public land that I've been hunting in Texas so far, I'm sorry, But that particular piece, that particular area, if you're going to shoot a deer, I'm sorry, you're going to have to bait. Everybody else is. I spent I think 4 years and a couple hundred miles. Will you go fix that? But I've spent, I think, 4 years, and honestly, I fully believe it's safe to say a couple hundred miles on the boots trying to pattern these deer. And I got close. I got close a couple of different times. I'm not going to say that it's completely impossible. Because there were several times where, I had opportunities. But they were very, very far and few between. And, this last year, me and my dad made the decision. It's like, we can't beat them, let's join them. So, we actually threw a bait pile out, and I let 3 arrows loose in the air. The first one I missed because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There was a lot of different issues. I rushed the shot. I got the range wrong. I shot for 20 yards. Deer was probably at 15. I just got super excited, and I missed. Shot right over her back. It was a doe. Clean miss. The second one I shot at was alert at, 15, 18 yards. Jumped the string, ducked it. I didn't shoot low enough. And the third one I shot, or the third arrow that I shot that trip, was a Hail Mary that, honestly, when I drew back, I told myself this deer is either going to get smoked or it's not going to be there when the arrow got there. Shot lower 1/3. It was a alert doe. I was aiming lower 1/3 right at the heart. Right at last light, last day of the trip. I could see my lighted knock flying, looked great, and about halfway there she jumped, turned, and my arrow sailed right over her head. That's how much she moved. So, like I said, I was comfortable taking that shot because I knew that I was either going to get the deer or I was going to miss completely. She was either going to stand there and get hit, or she wasn't going to be there by the time the arrow got there. And that's why I was comfortable taking that shot, along with my arrow setup. I hate to put it this way, but my arrows are built to handle what most people would consider poor shots. Shots that may not be necessarily ethical for some people. I'm comfortable taking those shots, and that's because my arrows are built for maximum penetration. With that being said, I don't think that you should use that as a crutch and take unethical shots. But it's up to you to decide what an ethical shot is, knowing your equipment, knowing your setups, and what they can do. But anyway, so going back to the baiting thing, it was just so hard to pattern deer on that property because whitetail, you have a bed to food pattern, and you know, when you're trying to target natural browse and all of that, that's all fine and good. But when other hunters come out and start scattering food all over the place, and the location of that food changes according to, you know, whoever walks out there with a bag of corn, it's almost impossible to get a pattern on them, because of the way that it is. And you know, I'm not going to say that I'm against it. I mean, I just openly admitted and told y'all that I did the same thing this last year. So, be aware of your area and your regulations, and if you don't want to bait, don't bait. Just be aware that if you're somewhere where baiting is legal and baiting is prevalent, um, that you're going to have a hard time. With that being said, there's an area that I'm planning on hunting this next year that I'm super excited about, where baiting is not allowed at all. It's illegal to bait. So that one's going to be fun. That's going to be a whole lot of patterns, and I haven't put boots on the ground. I've done a lot of map scouting, and it looks like there's going to be a little bit of canyon country. So hopefully I can find me a good glassing point, and I can get up with some glass, and instead of doing the ambush thing like we have been, hopefully I can get up there and glass, and we can do some spot and stock. That'd be new, different, and a lot of fun. And then, like I said, baiting's not allowed there. So
So it's just where you see a deer, and then if you can't fish, you just stop it.
okay, so spot and stock. Guess we're gonna plug some other media here. You know how they hunt on Meat Eater? Well, they're sitting up on the mountain looking through binoculars, and then they see the animal, and then they move towards it and stock up on it. That's what spot and stock is.
There's a black bear coming in the tree.
Oh yeah, that's a good episode. As you can tell, not only are we trying to create outdoor content, but we are also consumers of outdoor content. And Meat Eater is one of my favorite shows. But yeah, that's what spot and stock is. It's where you're sitting up looking in binoculars. You find the animal that you want to go after, and pick up your gear, and you try to sneak up on it. She's never been spot and stock hunting, so, but that'd be a lot of fun if the terrain lets us do that. If not, you know, we'll set up ambush points and just do our thing. But it'll be a lot of fun to hunt an area that, aside from just average pressure and human presence, that animal behavior can't be manipulated. I'm really looking forward to that. So, going on the tactics thing, like, me personally, and when it comes to the baiting and bait piles and stuff like that, I want to clarify. So, the area that we had our bait pile on this last year, that wasn't placed there on a whim. That was an area that I had hunted several times before. I knew that there was a lot of deer traffic there. The bait pile this year was more or less just a little bit more incentive to get them to walk through an area that I know that they utilized while, you know, and get them to walk through while I was there, and hopefully, you know, kind of stop and give me a shot. But personally, I think that, you know, if you are going to use bait piles, don't just go out there and be like, oh, this looks good, and throw a bait pile out. You know, hope they come to that spot or whatever. Like, still put in some footwork. Go and find you some trails. Find you a track. Find you an area that, you know, they utilize. And if you so desire to hunt over a bait pile, to try to get them to utilize it, you know, a little bit more. That's one thing. Um, Here in Texas, on private land, you can set out deer feeders. I don't. I don't necessarily agree with that. Um, and I know I'm gonna catch some flack, and maybe if somebody actually wants to engage and have a conversation, somebody might jump in the comments and be like, "Oh, well, you said you have no problems with bait feeders or bait piles. Why are you against feeders?" My issue with feeders is when you're on private land and you're just it's just a complete and total manipulation of animal usage and movement. Um, that, that is true, and we haven't gotten to that point yet. Um, but uh, my biggest thing on that is like a feeder is it's a constant thing that's there. It's you know you're setting out an attractant that is constantly there on your private land, and I could see running set. If I owned a property, I'd probably have feeders on my own property, but I wouldn't run them during deer season. Um, I'd use them in the off season to supplement feed for my deer, and honestly, for pigs, I have absolutely no problems with killing pigs at a feeder. They're an invasive species, and they're super tasty. And speak up so they can hear you.
What do you mean they're invasive?
Invasive are animals that are not native. Like they don't.
Like horses?
Horses are native,
Wait.
uh, depending on where you're at. But feral pigs, they're invasive. They were released into the wild. They're not a natural occurring animal on the landscape in this area, and so and they're very destructive, and they're super tasty. So if you want to go out and shoot pigs at a feeder, I mean, I think that's a great idea.
Just don't get old.
Um, I mean, and if you want to shoot a deer at a feeder, who am I to judge you? I'm just a silly guy with a YouTube channel. I don't hate on anybody. It's not my thing. And and that's kind of my explanation as to why, though, is when it comes to native species, I think it's if you're capable. To me, it's just a lot more fun to track them down. It's more fun to look for the sign and hunt the sign. Another thing that my daughter brought up too is like on private land, it's a common joke that I make. Private land deer are dumb compared to the public land deer. I mean, unpressured deer, they're something else. If you're used to hunting a whole lot of pressured deer, public lands and stuff like that, they're super jumpy, super skittish. You get into some of the older ones. Like I had a buck that I'm pretty sure isn't around anymore that I hunted for, I think, 3 years?
I don't know. What did you name it?
Well, I had two of them. There was BB and Wheezy.
BBs.
And I hunted them I know I hunted BB for 2 years. I think I hunted Wheezy for 3. And I'm pretty sure both of them probably aren't around anymore. Because I didn't see either one of them last year. But, I mean, they were old, mature bucks, and they were afraid of their own shadow.
Most deer are.
Yeah, and that's public land deer. They're super skittish. They're super pressured. Whereas like the deer on the private land, I have a clip on my it's on my, I think it's on my shorts. on my YouTube shorts, I have a clip of some deer out at the farm, um, where a couple does came in. It was real cool. They had no idea we were there, and then I started moving around, and instead of running away like a public land deer would, one of the does came and investigated. Um, However, out at the farm we have mule deer, more mule deer than whitetail. And these were mule deer, and you're not allowed to shoot mule deer doe. And so, I mean, I was just gonna film them, and I was moving a lot. Picked up my camera, picked it up over the crops and stuff like that, just to try to get some footage of the deer. And she just sat there and stared at us, without a care in the world. Just, I mean, she was just curious. She wanted to know what we are. Whereas, like, if that was a public land deer, the first little movement, she'd have been gone. So, but anyway, back to the tactics. One of the things that I like to do as far as tactics go is I try to find the hot sign, the fresh sign, whatever that may be. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you right now. I don't care if I shoot a buck or a doe. Yep, that's the video. I don't care if I shoot a buck or a doe. I'm just there to put some meat in my freezer, in which whatever deer gets my heart pumping, that's going to be the one that I'm going to shoot. And if I'm being perfectly honest, at this stage of my public land hunting career, it's probably going to be the first legal deer that walks in front of me, and gives me a shot. But I look for the hot sign. I also, down here in Texas, especially central Texas, kind of where I'm hunting, it's a pretty dry climate, and so early season I look for I try to be around water sources, things like that, or I try to pay attention to yeah, but that's in the other video. Like, I talked about that in the other video where we went across. But anyway, well, I've come to notice water is hunting water down there in that real arid, almost desert-like terrain. Seems to be a pretty good bet. Like, and I've talked to some other guys, and they say, if the weather's abnormally warm for that time of year, water's a good, a good resource to hunt. Like I said, I would be looking for, food, destination food areas and stuff like that. But like the public land that I've been hunting with everybody baiting, I mean, food is everywhere that people put it. So water is something that I focus on. One thing that I learned this last year, that I'm going to start taking into consideration a little bit more is shade, especially in early season, shade. So the shaded areas where deer can bed down, be out of the sun when it's 80 degrees outside, because down here, during archery season it gets like that. It's 75, 80 degrees of 190 degree weather. You can actually stock up on deer by looking for the shade, trying to find an area that they may bed down like that. And those are kind of the tactics that I've been leaning on. Like I said earlier, this next year, hopefully I'll get to play with some spot and stock tactics, which I haven't done a whole lot of spot and stock, so I can't really give a whole lot of tips or suggestions there. Hopefully, we can get some experience in that, you know, here in a couple months. Um, but yeah, water, definitely looking for tracks. But when I'm looking for tracks, I look for the really beat down trails. And then like it's really, the areas that I hunt, it's really, really brushy and really thick, dense cover. So another thing that I look for is you know, pinch points in travel corridors like funnels, uh, fence crossings, you know, just anything that that's gonna kind of direct traffic and narrow it down. When I'm looking for tracks, though, like I said, I'm not looking for like individual tracks. I'm looking for the beat down trail, and then of course, you know, rubs and scrapes are golden. I almost got an opportunity this past year on a little buck, hunting a scrape. Uh, it's a whole different story. Short version is I was sitting there, I was watching this little buck come in, and it was right at the last few minutes of legal shooting light. And my dad, he was setting up. We're in this this real small patch of timber, and my dad was on one side of it, and I was on the other, and we weren't more than maybe 100 yards from each other, you know. And I was kind of shooting one trail, he was shooting another, and I'm sitting here watching this buck come up, and I just needed him to get a little closer, and then I heard um, my dad shoot his crossbow. Okay, for everybody who wants to, you know, throw some hate or whatever, my dad's disabled. He can't pull a vertical bow. That's why he uses a crossbow. But anyway, I hear him shoot his crossbow, and as soon as that happens, the buck that I'm watching, he takes off running in the other direction. I pull out my phone and I send my dad a text. I was like, man, something better be dead. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. He was having a real bad asthma attack and hard time breathing, and with his lung issues and stuff like that, he had to go back to the truck, and he didn't realize how loud his crossbow is when he shoots. But yeah, so those are the tactics that I'm using. Haven't been very successful with them. I'm still learning. I learn more every time I go out in the woods.
Yeah, there's this remember that one hunting trip where we were out on the farm and we saw that a doe like way out there, and it saw us when we could smell us, and she didn't know.
Oh,
But she just took off.
yeah, you're talking about when we got, honestly, kind of stupid of me. I shouldn't have done that, but we got super aggressive opening day archery season last year, and we kind of tried to stock up on the beds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also started hunting. I think, what was it? I can't remember what the bird's called now, but they're really pretty, and they have like multiple colors.
Pheasant.
Pheasant, yeah.
That was two different trips, and I still want to shoot a pheasant with my bow.
So,
Yeah, those were two completely different trips.
yeah.
The time where I decided to try to shoot a pheasant with my bow was we went out to the farm, and our farm is leased to a farmer, and I was out there hunting. We had standing Milo, and the deer hunting was great with the standing Milo, and we went out there. It was, I want to say it was like the last weekend of deer season a couple years ago. It's either the last weekend or pretty close to the last weekend of deer season. It was like at the very end of season, and it was kind of great because it was like the second half of dove season. Mule deer had already closed, but I was hoping to get a whitetail. But I mean, whitetail was still open, pheasant was open, geese were open, quail was open, or waterfowl in general. Geese and duck were open, quail was open. I mean, it was a. We went out there and it was a. We could hunt anything we wanted, basically. And we got out there and our farmer had harvested all the milo that week, which didn't work out well for deer hunting because without the milo there wasn't any food out there and like it not a whole lot of cover, and so we shifted gears real quick and I wanted to shoot a pheasant with my bow.
There's a water source, like across the river,
Yep.
that we couldn't get to. And
I don't remember seeing any deer, but there was a water source on a neighboring farm, and so my dad he wanted to shoot, he wanted to shoot some quail, and so he was walking around doing that thing, and I was trying to shoot a pheasant or a goose with my bow. Which none of that happened. But anyway, but yeah, those are the tactics that I'm using. I try to look for the overlooked spots. One of the spots that I hunt, I'm pretty sure I'm the only person who really hunts that spot. I'm not gonna blow it out. I'm not gonna say anything about it. However, I'm sure that there's a possibility that maybe I shoot a deer there this coming season and that video goes up on YouTube and I'm gonna have to go and find me a new spot because these people are crazy about trying to figure out where you're hunting. But try to find the spots that are overlooked. When I first started hunting this public piece, it was all about who walking way back in there and stuff like that. Well, all of a sudden people got a whole lot less lazy, and I've actually seen on this particular piece that I hunt, when I first went out there it seemed like nobody was hunting it, and now it's really hard to go out there without having a group, a crowd of people. So you just kind of gotta look and see, find the places that people aren't going to look at, or for whatever reason, or that they don't want to put forth the effort to get to. Going into fishing, I keep promising y'all some fishing videos, and I'm still trying to figure out how to make that work. But we're going to go with some fishing tactics. So when it comes to fishing, the best suggestion that I can come up with, or that I could give you, is if you're bass fishing or any kind of panfish, look for structure, any kind of reeds, trees, especially during the spawns. That's where you're going to want to be. Like, that's where I catch a lot of bass off of, reeds during the spawn. Catch them off their beds in the shallows. Catfish, I generally look for areas that have like a pretty steep drop off. So like if you find an area that's got some shallows where there's some reeds and some good cover, and then you have a sharp drop off that goes, and it doesn't even have to be that big of a drop off, but generally the good ones are 5 to 10 feet deep on the drop off. Catfish really like hanging out in those areas because the bluegill, they'll sit there and they'll be sitting in the cover, but as soon as they go off into that open water, that's what the catfish go after. There's some other things about catfish that I personally have noticed And I want to go ahead and throw out there, believe it or not, most catfish are actually not scavengers like everybody says that they are. They're actually predatory fish. Uh, so, as far as catfish bait, like cut baits work really well. Um, they do primarily hunt off of scent, though, and that's where everybody's like, oh, stink bait and this and that and the other. It's because they're thinking catfish in the fact that they hunt off of scent. Um, but something that honestly I've never heard anybody else talk about. So I went into a deep dive on catfish and studying and researching. Well, I say researching, studying other people's research on catfish. The catfish that I target, at least, which are channel cat, blue cat, and flathead, they actually have a special receptor in their olfactory nerve that detects amino acids. So basically, they smell protein. And in my experience, I have had a lot better success on catfish using either fresh cut bait off of, bluegill, shad, whatever I have been able to catch, whatever bait fish I've been able to catch in the water source, in the lake itself that I'm fishing for catfish. It's been great bait. I've had a lot more luck off of that than anything else. Or, liver works real well, but I've had a lot more success on fresh liver over, people letting it sit out and rot and stuff like that. Like I have not had very much luck at all on any kind of spoiled bait for catfish. I just want to throw that out there. However, let me clarify something for anybody who may be up north. Down here in Texas, bluegill are not game fish. They're so abundant that to us those are bait fish. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, there's some other fishing tactics we can cover if y'all want me to. We're running a little long. We're almost an hour long here, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. If there's anything that y'all would like me to discuss or talk about or look into, research, whatever it may be, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you just want to send me some hate, that's all right. I'll read that too. Good and bad. Good comments, bad comments. I'll read them all. However, I will say, if you want to have a debate, that's fine. Like, if you don't like with some of the things that I say, some of my opinions, that's perfectly fine too. We don't have to necessarily agree, but we can get along and we can have a conversation about it. So, we can definitely talk about things. So if there's anything you want me to talk about, anything that you want to say, hop in the comments, let me know. If you made it this far, if you actually watched this whole video, thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. If you could subscribe, like the video, helps me out a lot. Can get my videos out in front of more people, and we can have some more conversations, and bring some more awareness to certain things. My next video, I'll throw a little teaser out there. My next video, I think I'm going to cover a little bit of my opinions on technologies in the woods, such as drones, trail cameras, things like that. I think that's a pretty hot topic in some circles, and who knows, maybe you'll want to hear my opinion about it. So that could be in the next video, and past that, other than keep talking about things that I think are kind of cool or important or I'm passionate about. I really don't know what to address without y'all's feedback, so do me a favor, engage. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment. It's greatly appreciated, and I'll see y'all next time.